Now on 7 News, we're tracking a winter storm set to arrive tomorrow with the first measurable snow for the upstate in 3 years. Crews are already working on the roads.
Well, as the nation's capital prepares for President Carter's state funeral, where thousands are expected to say their final goodbyes.
And later, building a church in a place that was once home to a strip club. The construction in Greenville is now complete. Good morning. It's Thursday, January 9th. It just turned 6:30. I'm Fred Cunningham.
I'm Olivia Donnelly. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. We're continuing to monitor the winter storm. Taking aim at our area, 7 News meteorologist Malachi Rogers begins our coverage with your forecast. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Olivia and Fred. Had a very good Thursday morning, everyone. It's now 6:30, and we have a winter storm watch in effect for all of the upstate and western North Carolina, northeast Georgia, as we are looking for that wintry weather moving in over the next 24 hours. Really around 9 or 10 o'clock tomorrow morning is when we'll see that. Right now, it's cold as you head out the door for school and work, 20s and teens, and like yesterday, temperatures are a mixture of 40s and 30s. But the weather tomorrow starts in on Friday morning with clouds. By 9, 10 o'clock, we start to see snow develop. And this should start off as some impressive snow, as we'll see fluffy snow falling through the first part of the day. But by mid-afternoon, by lunchtime, the pink that you see here indicates that there's warmer air moving in, and we could start to see that snow turn over to sleet or freezing rain. As that kind of takes over across the upstate and western North Carolina with more widespread sleet and freezing rain, snow totals will come down. And then as we go into the evening hours, all of that starts to wind down and clear out. We are dry as we head into your Saturday morning with those very cold temperatures. Now, because we see more sleet and freezing rain, our snowfall totals are gone down quite a bit. In fact, still 1 to 2 inches in the upstate, 2 to 4 in a few spots in the mountains, but areas south of 85 have a lower chance of seeing widespread snow. You may see a dusting, you may see a trace, because those are going to be the areas that line up with freezing rain, sleet, and ice tomorrow afternoon and early evening, making for very dangerous driving conditions and the potential for power lines and trees to be pulled down by some of that ice. So be very careful. Timeline looks like this: spotty rain and snow starting tomorrow morning. By the afternoon, heavy snow and sleet, freezing rain, and by Saturday, it's dry, clear, and cold. All right, that's the very latest on tomorrow's winter weather.
Thank you, Malachi. Crews across the upstate are already preparing roads and bridges to face this winter storm. 7 News' Simone Jameson has the story live in Spartanburg County. Good morning.
Fred, that's absolutely right. We were able to speak with officials here at Spartanburg County Roads and Bridges who tell us they have a dozen plows on hand to help minimize the impact the anticipated snow and ice is expected to have on the roadways this weekend. The department maintains around 1,700 miles of county roads. Officials told 7 News in addition to plows, they're using around 10 brine and sand spreaders to help maintain the integrity of roads and bridges and protect drivers from slick conditions. However, they tell us doing that is no easy task, and that shaded areas, hills, and curbs bring the most challenges.
It's a big process. We have 5 work sections throughout the county that takes care of portions of the county, and maintenance crews, and then we have specialty crews that pitches in and helps those. So everybody in this department will be working to take care of the roads.
The Spartanburg County Roads and Bridges tell us they already started brining the bridges yesterday, and they will be doing the same thing again today. They also tell us their crews anticipate being out in the height of the storm, and their advice to you is to stay home if you can. Live in Spartanburg County, Simone Jameson, 7 News.
Simone, thank you. Greenville Spartanburg International Airport is getting ready for the wintry conditions. The airport has a fleet of vehicles and 70,000 gallons of de-icing fluid to use on the runway if needed. Officials say crews at GSP will be working around the clock, monitoring conditions. We're told they plan to keep the airport up and running during the storm.
We also have our facilities staff in 3 different shifts that will continually be proactively on the runway, taxiways, and on our grounds to make sure that travel can be safe. We also have equipment that will keep our roadways and walkways and parking areas around the terminal easy to get to and safe for people traveling.
If you're flying out of GSP on Friday or over the weekend, airport officials encourage you to give yourself enough time to get to the airport. They say to monitor your airline and to check in on your flight and see if it's on time.
6:34, power companies must also be ready for the winter storm just months after doing major work to recover from the damage left by Helene. Spartanburg County Emergency Services tells us they're monitoring the forecast and changing conditions. They don't expect this storm to cause significant damage to power lines or roads, but if power goes out, Duke Energy says it's ready.
We are making the preparations now to ensure that our local folks are ready to restore any power outages that we might have in the coming days. And we're also looking ahead to see what other opportunities and resources are available if we need to call upon them.
Spartanburg County Emergency Services is reminding people who have generators, do not bring them inside your home. We're told a generator running indoors caused one death during Helene. The winter storm is set to arrive tomorrow, but be ready now. Make sure you have our 7 News weather app to stay ahead of the storm. It's free to download at your app store. Olivia.
Thanks, Fred. 6:35. Let's head out there on the roadways for an update on our travels as you make your way along the interstate south of Muddy Ford Road. Mile marker 52.4. We're in great shape to kick off your Thursday ahead of the wintry weather that will brace us tomorrow. Right now, our roadway conditions are favorable, so take advantage. Drive carefully, though. Act as a good driver, practicing good habits, wearing your seatbelt. Also, as experts remind us to be weather aware, have a readiness kit in your car, something to plan for on your Thursday ahead of your Friday drive. Fred.
Thanks, Olivia. At 6:36 this morning, Washington is preparing for the funeral of former President Jimmy Carter. Carter's casket remains in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda for public viewing. It will then be taken a few miles away to the National Cathedral for a state funeral. President Biden will deliver one of the eulogies. President-elect Trump met with Carter's family yesterday to pay respect.
They were lovely. They were really very sad, but also they were celebrating because he was a very fine man. I knew him a little bit, but I knew him only as a fine man.
And here's a live look inside the Rotunda, which has been open all night for people to pay their respects. Public viewing will end at 7 this morning in less than 30 minutes. Roughly 3,000 people are expected to attend the funeral. President Carter helped plan the service before his death at the age of 100.
New this morning, a person is dead after a crash in Lawrence County. Highway Patrol says it happened around 3 yesterday afternoon on Highway 72. Troopers tell us that a Toyota SUV was headed west when it hit a box truck at the Charlottes Road intersection. There were 3 people in the Toyota. The coroner says one of the passengers died at the scene. We're told another was taken to the hospital. The driver of the box truck was not injured.
Well, happening today, a railroad crossing in Malden will shut down permanently. That crossing is at Alexander and Jenkins Streets and Murray Drive. This is part of a new development that includes Maverick Yards. That will feature townhouses, restaurants, and entertainment. A detour will be set up for drivers with a new railroad crossing under construction on Jenkins Street. Transforming a closed strip club into a church. Next on 7 News, the latest from Greenville on building a place for healing at a location once notorious for violence and crime. It's 22 minutes before 7 o'clock. A live look at downtown Greenville on this Friday Eve. You're watching 7 News.